Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm going to do another PrimeXBT video for you all. I really just wanted to get this video out right away. I think it's going to be worthwhile, especially in these weird market conditions. So I'm not going to send this to my editor, so I apologize if I have any stutters or whatever. But basically today, we're going to talk about which assets to trade and how to find what to be trading at any given time. And now this can be on any time frame, on any asset. So what I'm going to show you is kind of how I scan the markets, what I look for when I'm intraday trading or maybe even swing trading. And yeah, we'll see what we can find. Quick shout out, of course, to PrimeXBT for sponsoring these videos. This is usually where the editor adds in all the cool graphics and music and all that stuff. And all I have here is a can of water, of sparkling water. So that's what you guys get today. But they're an awesome platform. If you're in the U.S., you would need to probably use a VPN or something on there. But they did boot off U.S. residents recently. But other countries have no issues, and they've added a ton of assets. So there's a link below. You can get up to a $7,000 deposit bonus if you use my link, or on Twitter. It's in my pinned tweet thread. Also in my pinned tweet, there's education, or there's like tutorials and stuff on how to use the exchange. So make sure you guys check that out, and stay tuned because I've got another really, really awesome video coming out probably early next week. I really wanted to get it out this week. It's about laggards and how to trade laggards and whatnot. But anyway, that'll be out next week. But this is today's video. It's gonna drop right after I'm done recording. So yeah, let's get into it. So how do I decide which asset? I had to make sure my volume is on, sorry, that I want to trade. How do I decide which asset I want to trade? Okay. So, man, you guys would be so amazed. You would not believe how many times I've recorded or started recording a video and my audio is not on, or like I accidentally touched the mic and mute it, and now you can't hear what I'm saying. So anyway, let's get into the action, or the lack of action today in the market, at least, because it's freaking boring. Okay, so this is not an asset I would want to trade right now. It's just basically sideways. There's not much volatility. Volume's pretty low. There's nothing going on here. Now CHZ, as you can see, we're trending now. We're getting some sort of price action and volume. This is one I could look to trade. Now I'm on a 30-minute chart, okay? So if I go to the daily chart, CHG relatively going sideways for the last week, okay? Bitcoin has been a little bit more action on the daily time frame, but we're looking at, let's say I've just logged in and I want to find a quick trade on a 15-minute chart or a 30-minute chart. CHZ is one that I could consider. Look at XTZ. Whoops. Not really too much going on here. Pretty sideways. Okay, now it did have some nice volatility previously, but currently not showing much. Link, definitely one that I would want to stay away from on a 30-minute chart. Look at this. There's absolutely nothing for me to do here. It's just going straight sideways. If I'm trying to catch a low time frame trade here and I enter over here, I'm just sideways and not making any money. So I can't trade something like this. I need something with volatility. Now, maybe I could look for a higher time frame for, setting alerts and doing something else, but on a low time frame chart, I'm going to throw this out. I don't really care about this at all right now. This is terrible. So that is like, see, on a higher time frame, now I potentially have a trend breakdown. So I could consider a possible short setup or something like this, right, on this whatever time frame. But again, it's mostly sideways, and what a lot of people do is they get chopped up in this sideways price action. They long and short because they think there's going to be a move, and then it doesn't happen. So that is actually why I like diagonals for these situations, because you can see here this diagonal support has held. So me wanting to get in a short here at support makes absolutely no sense. So I would never I wouldn't look for a hold on a short, and maybe I would be longing the support if anything. But most likely, if I was going to trade this, I would want to see like a breakout, because that would likely give me volatility, because I want volatility for trading. Okay, so now maybe I could consider seeing if there's some volatility that's going to start here. But even then, it's mostly sideways, and this could just kind of whipsaw around. When you have something that breaks down after it went sideways a lot, it's not always going to move. It could just continue to go sideways for a very long time. If you have something that rockets up and then kind of does some choppy and then breaks down, you know you're going to get better volatility because you had a lot of people just FOMO buy in there, and then it's going to continue with that price action, okay, with that volume. So I mean, that's really the basics of it, especially for low time frames. Now, if I'm looking for high time frame positions, what I want to do is I want to look for some major support areas on charts, or some major resistance areas for shorts, or like some major patterns, okay? So like on this one, you know, right here, we are at resistance. Okay, we're at resistance. We have some bearish divergence here, and then I have a bearish engulfing candle. So as soon as I get this bearish engulfing candle, I could look for a short entry here. Bam, right? Down here, we're at support, but I have no pattern play yet. Now, once we get this morning star pattern, okay, nice close, then I can look to trade this. So this is one that I could have on my list, you know, like once it breaks down here, I could say, all right, is this going to be a retest for me to short and a continuation play? Or is this going to be a reversal play and a deviation? And you can see here that was a very clear deviation. All right, so I could get in up here after that candle, or maybe on a lower time frame after a breakout here. Okay, after a breakout here, maybe on a lower time frame like a 4H chart. All right, so those are the kind of things you set alerts for and you watch, and you're not necessarily acting right away. Like Sol. Look at Sol. Straight sideways, nothing's going on here. Why would I even mess with trading this? Now, if I want to, I could set an alert below this level, okay, and maybe above this level. Like if this breaks down, it's likely to go much lower. But right now it's just straight sideways. I haven't even looked at the chart. There's no volatility. There's no reason for me to trade that, okay? So then you kind of just do a scan, and you can move them up or down on your watch list depending on how they look, the levels, right? Things like that. Another one that's pretty much just going sideways here. Really no reason for me to trade this. One stock that I recently took a trade on was Playboy. All right. So look at this. We've got a very nice diamond here. All right. So I wasn't trading this through this whole chop, but once I have this diamond start to break out here yesterday, I take notice and I go, all right, this is breaking out now. I should see some volatility. I should see this move. And if it doesn't start to move, I just simply cut it. But what you can see here is we've got this breakout yesterday, and today we have a retest and a push. So now I'm already in a position, and I basically just expect it to continue up. But now I have my clear invalidation level below the breakout. So now I expect volatility to come in. This should continue straight up. If it starts to chop around for a couple days, then I would probably just have to cut, because again, there's no volatility and this is overall sideways. But this whipsaw diamond bottom pattern gives me confidence that I have a pattern play now. So another thing you can look for, as with a morning star pattern, right? So you can look for patterns on specific charts. Oops, I don't know why I clicked on Wish there, but Wish, bought a little bit of this morning. It's overall just sideways. Maybe a little diamond here as well that I could consider, worth keeping an eye on for me. But I bought just a little bit to hold because it's just been beat down so much. So this isn't necessarily like me trading. This is just me saying, all right, I'm going to throw a few bucks in here. If it drops 20%, I can close. It's a small portion of my portfolio. It's not going to be a big deal. But from a trader perspective, if I want to enter a trade on this as like, an actual position, I could look for a breakout here of this diamond bottom, which actually could be breaking out soon. So definitely something that I could set alerts somewhere. I could wait for this high to break. But we already broke this high here. So this is definitely one that could continue up in the short term, and like a possible setup. Other setups you could have, are like these kind of reversal patterns, and you can find them on any time frame. Excuse me. So you look on multiple time frames, depends on what your trading goals are. If you only are a high time frame trader, you're going to go only to daily charts or weekly or monthly charts, and you're going to find high time frame setups But you're not going to force them, and you're not just going to jump in right when you look at the chart. You're going to find a support if you're buying, right? And you're going to find, is there a reversal pattern here? Is there a breakout here? Is there some sort of pattern or reason for me to be entering this trade other than that, just that it's at support? Because just because something's at support isn't always the best reason to enter into a position. Okay. Like base here is another good example of, I have been watching this chart for probably weeks and I had yet to take a position. Okay. But what happens here is I've got a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. So it's an inverse head and shoulders. I wait for breakout yesterday. Okay. And then I enter. And I'm immediately seeing volatility, right? So these are the kind of trades I like to take, the kind of charts I like to trade, because otherwise I'm just sitting here and holding this for weeks with it just basically going sideways. And that's not, as a trader, you want volatility. Because if something's going sideways for months and months and months, you're not making money, right? Or weeks and weeks and weeks. So when Bitcoin is going relatively sideways for this period of time, like, I'm not trading it. Why? Like, how can I trade this? Look at, like, even over here, especially on a daily time frame. Now, this is a daily time frame and it's going sideways. So you're not hardly trading Bitcoin on this time frame here because it's just straight going sideways, okay? Now, once it broke down from here, that's when I could have taken a trade on this time frame. But in the meantime, I got to go to like a 15-minute chart on Bitcoin or maybe a 1-hour chart, and I've got to try to find some volatility, all right? And a lot of it sideways. Now you can see when we get overextended, that's when you can look for some trades. But even then, it's just been mostly choppy. So my recommendation is, when you see charts like this, is just to let them be, because traders like me aren't taking interest in these charts, and that's why they're kind of choppy and sideways. So you're going to want to find like a CHZ where there's some volatility, because this is going to be moving a lot. So when you see this kind of volatility, this would have made a great short setup, right? Like, look at this big upper wick. So a large upper wick, we lost the candle close here. Like, I could have easily just taken a quick trade on here, a quick short, and whoops, I don't know what I just did there. I could have easily taken a quick short and made a quick, 1%. And if I was using leverage, I'd be a little multiplied. There's another chart that I saw earlier today on Shop, I believe. And we had this nice little evening star pattern up here at the top, okay? So look at this volatility. These are the charts I like to trade on low time frames. This is taking off. Nice volatility, lots of buying. And what do I see? Whoops. I see an evening star pattern over here. Bam. So I could short this on the retest here. All right. And you could see here that volatility breeds more volatility. And we had about a 2% drop here, okay? Now, what happens is, if I get into a short here and there's no volatility and it starts to go sideways, I got to get out because there's no volatility. The sellers obviously aren't very strong. Price is going sideways. And a lot of times that's even going to react and bring, buyers to come back in. And even if it's going to sell off, my short's likely not going to work. And same goes with the buying here too. If I'm buying up at these heights and price stalls, it's probably going to fall. If I'm buying up here and price starts going down like this pretty quickly, I need to get out, because what I want to see, if I'm buying a top for a continuation, if I'm trying to play a continuation play, I need to see price go up pretty quickly for it to continue, right? Otherwise, you're going to see sellers start to step in if price doesn't consolidate, at least. So I hope that makes sense. So if price consolidates here, that's when you get your continuation plays, all right? Otherwise, if we start to drop and sellers immediately step in, you're going to see that ripple effect of that domino falling, because all these people just FOMO'd, and now what are they going to do? They're going to sell pretty quickly. We've all been there. We've all gone, okay, I should buy Shop down here. I'll wait for a pullback, right? And then it goes up here and you're like, oh, okay, now it's going to pull back. Oh, shoot, it's still going. So you FOMO buy up here, and as soon as it goes below your order, you panic sell, and then that's what you're seeing here, is basically people panic selling after it goes below where they just bought. So just a lot of emotion in the markets. But anyway, you guys, so hope that helps a little bit. Once it does this, I'm, again, not trading, okay? And I actually did catch a short here. I'll show you guys exactly what I did. So what happened was, I noticed this evening star about right here when price is over here, and it was kind of just choppy and sitting at support, so I couldn't really do anything. But what I did see is a little breakout here, so I'm starting to see a little bit of volatility come back, right? So we had a lot of volatility, then we have the chop where everyone gets wrecked, and then more volatility, and then it usually kind of dies down a little bit again. Okay, what I really like to see is a lot of volatility and then a lot of whipsaws, and then there's always going to be a period of sideways boring chop after volatility. So if you make a trade or two on the initial volatility, just sit out, because what you're going to see is that you're going to give those profits back. You're going to give those profits back when price action starts going sideways and gets choppy. So anyway, so I had looked at this, and it was about right here where I noticed that evening star, and I was like, oh, well, that was a good opportunity that I missed, but it's okay. I wasn't looking at the time. But maybe, once this chop is done, I can maybe short. Maybe it'll bounce up here. I don't know. But what happened was it broke out here and did a fake breakout, basically. And so I hopped in a short on that fake breakout, like right when it broke below my EMAs. And then I got out on the stalling of volatility. I didn't close at the bottom, so I got in about here, and I closed about here when the drop just stalled. Okay, that's what I usually do. That's a quick momentum trade. But again, I didn't get chopped in here. This is just sideways garbage. A little bit of volatility, pop, fake out, bam, and now there's volatility coming back in, and I can trade that really quick. Okay, so anyway, guys, really hope you enjoyed this quick 16-minute video. Nice. My video length has been growing. So anyway, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video on how to identify which assets to trade. Remember, it is time frame dependent. If you're just looking for a quick trade, hop on a low time frame. If you're looking for a longer period of trade, and personally, what I like to do is have like 1 or 2 swing trades running at a time. So I'll go look for high time frame charts that pique my interest, set some alerts, and then if I close one of them, then I'll look for another one to get into, and then on the side I'll just trade low time frames while those higher time frame trades are running their course. So anyway, hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment below if you have any questions or anything you want me to cover in the next video. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Peace, everyone.